You're lying in bed at 3 a.m. Your mind running through conversations from 2009, analyzing whether that person's okay actually meant not okay. Sound familiar? Here's what nobody told you. You're not an overthinker. You're just someone who was never taught how to think. This isn't a character flaw. It's a skills gap. Schools taught you what to think, facts, dates, formulas, but nobody taught you how to think. Nobody showed you the operating system of your own mind. It's like being given a supercomputer with no manual and then being blamed when you can't turn off the notifications. We label ourselves overthinkers, like it's some permanent condition, like having brown eyes or being left-handed. But overthinking isn't who you are. It's just your mind doing its best with the tools it was never given. And here's the thing. You can learn these tools right now. You're not broken. You're just untrained. Think about it. We spent 12 years in school, and not one class on managing thoughts. We can solve for X, but can't solve for why we replay conversations 17 times. Kind of funny when you think about it. Yeah, let's teach them calculus, but not how to calm their mind. Chapter 1. The Metacognitive Gap. Metacognition. Thinking about thinking. This is the skill nobody taught you, and it's the missing piece you've been searching for. You're constantly running programs, about 35,000 automatic thoughts per day. But you've never learned to observe these programs, to step back and watch them run. Imagine your thoughts are like cars on a highway. Right now, you're standing in the middle of traffic, getting hit by every single vehicle. Metacognition teaches you to build an overpass, to observe the traffic without being in it. You're not stopping the cars. You're changing your position. Here's the practical tool. The notice, name, navigate technique. Notice when you're spiraling. Name what's happening. I'm catastrophizing, or I'm in a replay loop. Then navigate, choose your response. This isn't positive thinking nonsense. This is cognitive architecture. Your mind has been running on autopilot, and you're finally learning to look at the controls. It's like realizing you've been driving with the parking brake on for years. No wonder everything felt harder than it should. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Chapter 2. Default Mode Mechanics. Your brain has two main modes: focused attention and what scientists call the default mode network. This is your mental screensaver. When you're not actively focused, this network activates. And guess what it loves to do? Time travel. Past regrets, future worries, anywhere but here. The default mode network isn't bad. It's where creativity happens, where insights emerge. But without understanding it, you become its passenger instead of its pilot. You know that feeling when you're trying to relax, but your mind starts presenting a PowerPoint of every mistake you've ever made. That's your default mode network without boundaries. Here's what's wild. Meditation isn't about emptying your mind. It's about recognizing when you're in default mode and choosing to shift. The 2-4-8 breathing technique. Breathe in for 2, hold for 4, out for 8. This literally signals your nervous system to shift networks. It's like Alt-Tab for your consciousness. We treat our minds like they should naturally know how to be calm. That's like expecting your body to naturally know how to do backflips. Skills require practice, even thinking skills. Chapter 3. Cognitive Load Management. You have limited mental bandwidth. Cognitive load is real. You only have so much processing power, and when you exceed it, everything breaks down. It's not weakness. It's physics. Think of your mind like RAM in a computer. Open too many programs and everything slows down. That decision fatigue you feel? That's your cognitive load maxing out. This is why Steve Jobs wore the same outfit. Not because he was weird, but because he understood cognitive economics. The solution isn't trying to increase your RAM. It's managing your programs better. Chunk similar decisions together. Create routines that run automatically. Build what psychologists call implementation intentions. Pre-decided responses to situations. If it's Sunday night, then I prep for Monday. If someone asks me to decide right now, then I say, Let me check and get back to you. You know what's funny? We shame ourselves for mental exhaustion, while simultaneously running 17 mental programs, doom scrolling, and trying to remember if we locked the door. That's like shaming yourself for sweating while running a marathon. Chapter 4. Thought, Relationship, Reset. Here's the truth nobody wants to admit. You can't stop your thoughts. Trying to stop thinking is like trying to stop waves in the ocean. The harder you try, the more you fail. But you can change your relationship with thoughts. Thoughts are just weather in your mind. Sometimes sunny, sometimes storms. You don't control weather, but you decide whether to go outside, bring an umbrella, or stay in. Your thoughts are tourists visiting. You don't have to offer them permanent residence. They can pass through without setting up camp. The tool here is cognitive diffusion. Instead of I'm a failure, try I'm having the thought that I'm a failure. Sounds simple, sounds stupid, works brilliantly. It creates space between you and the thought. You're not your thoughts any more than you're the music coming from your neighbor's apartment. We've been taught that controlling thoughts equals mental strength. That's like thinking holding your breath equals respiratory health. The strength isn't in control, it's in navigation. Chapter 5. Attention Architecture. Your attention isn't a spotlight, it's more like a zoom lens. You can adjust both direction and focus width. Wide for scanning, narrow for detail. But nobody taught you how to adjust your lens, so you're stuck on one setting, usually zoomed way too far into problems. Selective attention is a trainable skill. You're constantly filtering. Right now, you weren't aware of your tongue in your mouth until I mentioned it. You decide what's relevant. The problem? Without training, anxiety hijacks this system, and everything becomes relevant and urgent. Practice attention flexibility with the 5-4-3-2-1 technique. 5 things you see, 4 you hear, 3 you touch, 2 you smell, 1 you taste. This manually adjusts your attention lens, pulling you out of internal spirals into external reality. It's like teaching yourself, hey, the present moment exists too. You know what's hilarious? We have better training programs for our phone's focus modes than our own minds. Your iPhone has Do Not Disturb, but your consciousness doesn't. Want to level up your people skills? Join our YouTube membership for early access to scripts, input on future topics, and connection with a community that gets the social struggle. Click join below, and let's master human interaction together. Chapter 6. Emotional Granularity. You're not just fine or stressed. Emotional granularity is your secret weapon. The more precisely you can identify emotions, the better you can respond to them. It's the difference between I feel bad and I feel disappointed about the outcome but hopeful about the next attempt. Your emotional vocabulary is your emotional reality. People with higher emotional granularity have better relationships, less anxiety, and more resilience. Why? Because stressed is too vague to solve, but overwhelmed by competing deadlines. Now that's something you can actually address. Build your emotional vocabulary like you'd build your regular vocabulary. Instead of angry, try frustrated, irritated, exasperated, indignant. Instead of sad, disappointed, melancholic, grief-stricken, wistful. Each word is a tool, and right now you're trying to build a house with just a hammer. Here's what nobody talks about. We have more words for coffee orders than emotional states. Venti half-calf, oat milk latte with 2 pumps vanilla. But feelings? Yeah, I'm fine. Chapter 7. Implementation Intentions. This is the secret weapon psychologists don't want you to know that costs nothing. If, then, planning. Implementation intentions double your success rate. Not 10% better, double. If it's 9 p.m., then I put my phone in another room. If I start spiraling, then I do the 2-4-8 breathing. If someone asks for an immediate answer, then I say, let me think about it. You're pre-deciding responses, removing decision fatigue, creating automatic better choices. Your mind loves patterns and hates decisions. Implementation intentions give you the patterns you crave while removing the decisions you hate. It's like programming keyboard shortcuts for your life. If control plus anxiety, then execute breathing.protocol. The power isn't in the planning, it's in the specificity. If I feel stressed, doesn't work. If I notice my shoulders tensing at my desk, does. You need clear triggers, not vague intentions. We've all tried I'll exercise more. But if it's 7 a.m. on weekdays, then I do 10 push-ups before showering. Actually happens. Chapter 8. The testing effect. Here's what schools got backwards. Testing yourself is 300% more effective than rereading. You don't learn from input. You learn from retrieval. Every time you pull information out, you strengthen the pathway. This applies to emotional patterns too. Don't just read about metacognition, test yourself. What am I thinking right now? What network is active? What's my cognitive load? The retrieval is the learning. The struggle to remember is the growth. Create micro-tests throughout your day. Set random alarms. What tool could I use right now? This isn't homework. It's neural pathway construction. You're literally building the roads that thoughts will travel on. Without testing, you're just painting roads on the map without actually building them. Funny how we test everything else. Wi-Fi speed, phone battery, coffee temperature. But never test our thinking tools. We quality check Amazon purchases more than our mental patterns. Chapter 9. Integration Symphony. Now here's where everything multiplies. These tools don't add. They multiply. Metacognition plus emotional granularity plus implementation intentions doesn't equal 3 tools. It equals exponential change. Watch this. You notice you're spiraling, metacognition. You identify anticipatory anxiety about tomorrow's presentation, emotional granularity. You execute your if-then. If presentation anxiety, then 2-4-8 breathing plus 1 preparation action. Implementation intention. You just used 3 tools in 15 seconds. This isn't about perfection, it's about practice. Each tool makes the others stronger. Attention training improves metacognition. Better metacognition reveals emotional patterns. Understanding emotions improves attention allocation. It's a virtuous cycle. Compound interest for your mind. You know what's beautiful? These tools work while you sleep. Your consciousness consolidates these patterns, makes them automatic. You're literally rewiring yourself. The overthinking that felt permanent? It's just old wiring. And wiring can be changed. Chapter 10. The Path Forward. You now have what school never gave you. The manual for your mind. You're not an overthinker. You're an undertrained thinker who just leveled up. Start with 1 tool. Just 1. Master the notice, name, navigate. Or practice if-then planning. Or expand your emotional vocabulary. Don't try to revolutionize everything at once. That's the overthinking pattern trying to sneak back in. Small changes, consistent practice, compound results. Remember, thoughts are weather, not climate. Your mind has a spam folder. Use it. Cognitive load is real. Respect it. Attention is adjustable. Practice adjusting it. Emotions need vocabulary. Build yours. Testing beats studying. Test yourself. These aren't just concepts. They're your new mental operating system. The person lying awake at 3 a.m., replaying conversations, drowning in what-ifs. That person wasn't broken. They were just untrained. And now you have the tools. Your overthinking wasn't your fault. But your transformation? That's your choice. Learned something new? Hit that like button, share it with others, tap subscribe, and stick around for more. Got thoughts? I'd love to hear them in the comments.